Log Targar friends, hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another work mode workout. And today was max effort bench press day, and I pretty much hit what I calculated I thought I would on the bench press. I went ahead and ramped up, and I'm using a medium grip now instead of a closed grip, and I'm training more of it as of the last dynamic effort day, more of that grip on the bench press. And bench is going back up. Bench is going back up. I've now tied today, coming up, the best lift I've hit on YouTube since being a YouTuber on the bench press, I believe. I could be wrong, but I believe that's the case. Of 335 again. And when I got to it, honestly, I felt like it was a little slow near the top. Again, feel like a little bit of tricep weakness still there, which is why I'm hammering my triceps so hard. But what we need to remember when we're coming to this max effort stuff, because about every 4 weeks or so, it might be as rare as 5, because I'm going to work some other lifts in the rotation. I'm going to go ahead and test each of these lifts. And we're doing it in traditional conjugate style. So meaning I'll probably keep doing the normal bench for my dynamic days so that I get lots and lots of practice with it. But I'm going to rotate through about 4 different variations. So every 4th time I do a max, I'm going to hit my bench again. Well, I got back to the 335 today, so that's good because this is I think that's the heaviest I've benched since coming to YouTube after coming back to training in my late 30s after spending a year in bed sick at this body weight. Like, I've done it before at a heavier body weight, and of course you guys know I'm going to continue to cut down later as I regain strength at this weight. We're going to trim down afterwards. I'm still walking around 218. And so I'm happy with that. Now, do I feel like I could have possibly gone 5 pounds heavier and tried again for a 340 afterwards? Yes, I did. I did. But I would risk failing it, and then I'm not leaving myself any real room to grow, right? I don't want to end up getting under here and failing a bench press and then be too fatigued to train. So we got a good solid max, and you know what? We'll try to beat it each time. That's the goal on each of these big lifts. Each time I go through the variation and test a max, we want a PR every time, right? So we can save that for 4 or 5 weeks from now. We can come back and hit it again and try the 340. Or if ramping up it feels really light, we might try 345, but the goal is to keep PRing. So I'll work in one of the other variations next time. And so I'm happy with this. You know, I'm happy with it. It's good. You guys notice I did hit the upright right there on the way up on the lockout. Tapped it, but I don't think that really slowed me down because I tapped it right at the lockout. So, I mean, it was slightly slow. We could tell we were getting close to a max. If that wasn't a max, it was within 5 pounds of it. Like, I might have been good for 340. Maybe. But decided to do some pull-ups after, and man, I haven't done pull-ups in a few weeks. I've done only chin-ups. They're hard. Like, I stopped. I did my second triple with just 55 pounds plus my +5 boots of autism on. And honestly, having done just chin-ups, it's amazing how fast you lose a little bit of strength. You lose 10, 15 pounds off of a variation of pull-ups when you switch to a different grip for a little while. Because I'm going to keep doing chin-ups. I feel like I need the chin-ups for my biceps and stuff on my more volume-oriented days. And I felt like today just doing the pull-ups, but they lit my biceps up. My biceps were throbbing afterwards. They were hurting after that second set. So I was just amazed at how much they got work. And I just said, okay, I'm going to call it quits because I need to be able to do more pressing. And if I fatigue myself trying to do another set of pull-ups today, and again, this is really just kind of retraining the motor pattern a little bit because my higher volume pulling is going to be on Thursdays. And then I do face pulls up to 20 plus sets of face pulls right now. So between that and all the enormous amounts of deadlifting volume, because I'm deadlifting twice a week, my back is getting enough work. We're just doing some pull-ups and chin-ups to make sure the upper back gets a little bit of heavy weight. My biceps are getting some work because most of my upper back and other stuff is coming from all the good mornings and safety bar work and deadlifts and face pulls. This is just a little bit of extra heavy stuff because I like to do those movements. So we also did push presses today. I decided, you know what, guys, I want to come in and work on push presses. I feel like my triceps are still the weak link in my bench, and I want something that just works the triceps a little bit differently, something a little bit more athletic, a full body component to my pressing. As I spent a long time really focusing on the standing press, the strict press, and I've gotten pretty strong at it again, like by pretty much anybody's standards. And I want to do a little bit of a variation, so I decided I'm going to start working in the push press as an assistance movement, or an accessory movement, really. It's an accessory at this point. Again, just for a little bit of extra leg explosive training, getting a good tricep dominant overhead press, which I did notice it doing it. It's like I felt my triceps just lit up. It worked everything completely different. Like I felt my traps and my triceps a little more than I normally do on my strict presses. So I thought, what the hell, let's just go ahead and push this out and do it until I get fatigued. So I didn't go that heavy. I only went with 205. But I'm kind of learning the movement pattern here. Again, I haven't done push presses in forever. And I'm not worried about making them beautiful. We're not trying to get the most impressive push press. We're just trying to use it to just for the work capacity, a little bit of explosive training, a good press movement that's going to carry over to my other stuff. So I'm just going to work it in for a while as a secondary exercise. And it's kind of fun. The push press is kind of a fun exercise. You know, it's just fun. You can move some relatively heavy weight overhead. And I ended up I did 5 triples with 205. And honestly, that left me fatigued. Like that last set of the over 200 was pretty fatiguing. Will my strength probably go up on this? Probably. It should go up because, I mean, 205 for triples on a push press is not particularly strong. It's okay. But I also don't really have the movement pattern down. So I'll get used to it and I'll get better at it and get more explosive at it over time. And maybe it'll help my strength on the top half of my press because I'm explosive off the chest on the press. It's really the top half anyways. So again, it works. And then we're getting a good eccentric on it, which again contributes quite a bit to the tricep development on it. That's what I tell people. Like, an eccentric doesn't do anything with a weight you can lift normally. And people need to remember that. That's what the data shows. There's very little in the way of hypertrophic effect from that. It's heavy eccentrics. So in this case, I'm getting a little bit of eccentric overload on the triceps and locking a decently heavy weight overhead in terms of volume. It's not my press max. It's less than that, but it's the sheer number of it, the number of reps, because that was 15 reps with that weight. Well, that's probably my 2 rep max for a strict press. So that's a lot of reps to go overhead. I went ahead and did JM presses the rest of the workout. We did 5 sets, and I managed to squeeze out about 11 on the 5th set instead of 10. I micro-loaded it up. Now, my triceps were pretty fatigued. They were pretty beat up from all the other pressing. So I'm surprised I was able to come in and even micro-load it all with the micro plates added on to my JM press. But I got them. And, you know, I just decided to just do these shirtless. So what? I've got some loose skin on my lower back. And that's what people need to realize. This channel's for real people. And, you know, people always want to joke about, oh, the loose skin or whatever, and he's a flesh golem. And it's like, all right, guys, I lost 100 pounds of fat. I spent a year in bed sick, and I gained 100 pounds of fat that I had to burn off. I'm going to have some loose skin unless I get really, really lean. Deal with it. And this is the thing, you know, I would say to a lot of people out there, I'm going to say to those of you out there who are striving to lose body fat, you don't have to be ashamed if you got some loose skin. You know, if you put in the work, you lose 50 pounds, 80 pounds, 100 pounds, and you have some loose skin that needs to tighten up over time, you don't have to be ashamed of it. Because here I am with 72 million views on YouTube, over 100,000 subscribers, and there's my loose skin. You know what? You don't have to be ashamed of it, guys. Keep putting in the work. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the things that you can't change. Because I can tell you right now, you're going to be healthier and you're going to look better if you lose that 50 pounds or 100 pounds of lard that you have than if you leave it on there. And you can't stand around worrying about stuff like that when you're bettering yourself. You really can't. You know, you can't be insecure about stuff like that. And it doesn't matter if people want to make fun of it or whatever, guys. You've got to just do your thing. You have to do what you know is right and what you know is best for you and not worry about stuff that you can't change, you know. So yeah, I still carry quite a bit of fat on my lower back down there. But, you know, that's where I disproportionately store it. That's where I store my body fat. And a lot of it has to do with that loose skin has to have a place to sag, and that's where it sags to. So the extra fat that's adhering to it's going to tend to go there also. It is what it is. It'll continue to get smaller as I lose fat over time because we will drop down to 200 pounds eventually. I'm trying to just kind of stay stationary for a little while on my weight, regain strength that I've lost, get brutally strong, and then keep trimming down. You know, eventually I'll drop down to 200 pounds or into the 190s. But I want to be strong at that point. You know, we want to be squatting 500. We want to be deadlifting 600. We want to be benching 350 down at that body weight, even in my 40s. So that's the plan, guys. But yeah, this workout was really good. I was really happy with it overall. My triceps are just lit up still. And I have a bunch of face pulls and abs and stuff to do later. So I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.